Jim Rutherford, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What drug are you on?
Like, I think we talked about it before, where I thought it was an age kind of thing where Penguins, in a way, kind of got younger in the back end, but same time too,
Okay.
like, I think it's like another classic thing. Like, Jim Rutherford, like, he kind of overvalued a guy, gave Patrick Hornqvist that huge extension, and then realizing that, when they went into the playoffs, Hornqvist was not even in the top 6.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Patrick Hornqvist makes a little too much money.
5.3.
$5.3 million for the next 3 years.
And he's already 33.
Mike Matheson makes 4.875 for the next 6 years. Let me remind you, Mike Matheson was scratched in the playoffs. Sorry, I don't mean you. I'm reminding the listeners.
Oh, reminding the listeners. Okay.
You know
Okay,
this already.
I know. Okay.
You know this already. I'm just reminding the listeners.
It's just actually hard to think about 6 years for that guy.
I did the math. The Panthers are saving over that 6-year span about $15 million. There's a little more money obviously coming in the next few years in terms of I think they still have to pay Hornqvist in cash around $15 million, and Matheson over 6 years would have had to be paid $32.
Whoa.
And we know they're trying to cut salary, I guess, in the long term, it seems like, and I guess that's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
What is Jim Rutherford thinking?
I think I saw it too. I forgot. I think it was Dmitry Filipovich, or he looked like a board fantasy team owner.
Yeah, he's like
just
a board fan.
He's just rearranging everything.
It doesn't make sense to me at all. I can't see an explanation for this. Do you have one?
I don't know. Like, I'm just looking at that bottom pairing now: Michael Matheson and Jack Johnson.
How much money is in that bottom pair? Jack Johnson, 3.25.
It's like over $8 million.
Oh my God! Everyone's complaining about Montreal paying $15 million for goaltending for a year. They're going to be paying. How many years are they going to be paying for this? Like, how 3 more years are going to be paying $8 million for a bottom pair, because we all know, Jack Johnson's not going anywhere. No. And unless Mike Matheson proves everyone wrong, Joel Quenneville scratched him in the playoffs. And that guy was playing forwards, defense as forwards. Mark Pysyk managed to become a forward this year. Honestly. Come on.
Luke Schenn as well, 4th line on the Lightning.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Games ago.
Like, really figured like, honestly, because it hasn't been confirmed, like, there's a few things going on here that apparently the Penguins weren't able to reach Patrick Hornqvist. Then Friedman tweeted out that the deal's being held up due to an insurance issue, so the ability to fully insure contracts against injury. So there's a couple things going on here. But what is JR doing? Like, do you see this deal? Do you see this deal as a win for Pittsburgh?
No.
I don't even think of it as neutral for both teams. I think there's a clear winner in Florida. Like, Patrick Hornqvist isn't that – like, yes, he wasn't in your top 9.
Yeah.
Top 6, sorry. Obviously, like, you bring in Jason Zucker. Jake Gensel comes back. Brian Rust has been playing well. You obviously still have Crosby and Malkin.
And Jared McCann.
Jared McCann, who recently re-signed. Florida's losing Dadonov and Hoffman. Now they just got a replacement. And was that not as good of a necessarily a replacement. I think he can still put up some number of points.
Hornqvist
And
needs a center. He needs a center to help him with that.
who?
Hornqvist.
And hey, you know who they have? A pretty damn good center in Alex Barkov. And they got rid of the contract that no one wanted to touch in Mike Matheson. Is it just me that remembers this? That when William Nylander was holding out, Mike Matheson was untouchable?
Apparently, yeah.
Huh? What?
Now it's Mackenzie Weegar.
Oh, yeah. Mackenzie Weegar, great. Boo.
He's untouchable.
Whatever,
Florida.
man. I don't see how this deal's a win for either team.
No, it's kind of just moving money around, not really doing much with it.
So do you want to hear? So there's more. There's more, obviously. There's a couple. It's just my head hurts. The Penguins are this is from Josh Yohe. He's a Penguins beat writer. Penguins are expected to try clearing enough cap space to pursue Chris Tanev in free agency. Adding a right-handed defenseman. Oh, this is where it gets good. Adding a right-handed defenseman is the Penguins' priority. Age, not a concern. General manager Jim Rutherford isn't opposed to a 5-year deal. Wants to avoid cap it over $5 million. Do you know what that 5-year? Do you just take a guess what that 5-year deal would do?
Would that take Crosby to what, 37?
No. This one's even better than that. It would match the term so that both his and his brother,
my God,
they would end on the same year. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
You know, if Luke and Braden Shen didn't work in Philly, I don't know how this is going to work.
Is this a joke? Is this a joke to Jim Rutherford? So let me understand this quickly. You traded Patrick Hornqvist and got Mike Matheson. So now you have another defenseman. Where are all these defensemen going?
Justin Schultz is gone. Yuso Rifkala, I guess, becomes 7th defenseman.
So what you're telling me is Chris Tanev's going to be, what, a 7th defenseman?
I don't know where he's going to actually go.
Like Duma? So
Letang,
we know Dumoulin and Letang have been playing together. That's what happened this year.
John Marino and
Pedersen,
yeah.
And Jack Johnson and Mike Matheson if the deal goes through. We're just assuming it does. And where is Chris Tanev going?
Does he realize he still has to pay John Marino eventually?
Does he realize does he realize many things? I don't understand why you have $6 million in cap space. You still have to figure out your goaltender situation. Mm-hmm. The RFAs you have they won't cost much. You have Sam Lafferty, Dominic Simone, Anthony Angelo, and your 2 UFAs forwards are Marlowe, who's probably not coming back, and Connor Sheary, who, again, unfortunately not coming back.
Well, okay, one thing I also kind of think about is, maybe they don't trust him yet, but
Who?
They have Pierre-Olivier Joseph in the minors. He's a left-handed defenseman.
They don't even have room. They want to add Chris Tanev. You just added Mike Matheson.
Yeah.
Unless you don't think you can add him, even if you add Mike Matheson, where are you going to play Mike Matheson on the third pair? For
he should. He should be on the third pair.
It doesn't make sense. You don't pay that money for
I don't know,
a third pair guy.
Or for that grit, those illegal checks.
Do you want to hear the second thing I have here.
Okay.
It's the same. It's Josh Yohe again, and it says several teams have inquired to the Penguins for Brian Rust. Brian Rust, GMJR isn't shopping him, but would be open to a deal if return was substantial. Reportedly, at least an NHL-ready player plus top prospect. Quote, growing sense, Rust might draw an offer too good to pass up.
Why would you trade Brian Rust? Get another defenseman.
Cap space. You got $3.5 million in cap space.
Oh. Those are the kind of guys, like, that's a player where I kind of feel like you extend him. Like, you...
They have him for 2 more years.
Yeah. I'm just thinking Michael Matheson just took up that money.
He just had a career year. Mm-hmm. He had 56 points in 55 games.
You don't give that up. I think he's as valuable as Jake Gensel.
Really?
Yeah, like in terms of the chemistry. I know Gensel likes to play Crosby. And Brian Rust often goes with Malkin. And it's a perfect situation for them. I don't know, like, why he keeps tinkering with everything, Jim Rutherford.
I don't have an option with him tinkering. I just don't see what, like, move after, like, this is the second move now, the potential move, and another signing that doesn't seem to be adding up.
No.
Like, okay, I kind of understand the Kasperi Kapanen move. I think you overpaid for Kasperi Kapanen at the end of the day. I don't understand the Mike Matheson move. What are you trying to do here?
Maybe they trade Jack Johnson.
Who is taking Jack Johnson?
I don't know. He goes back to LA. I don't know. I can't think of anything. They have a lot of older guys. They don't mind adding another one. He goes to the Wild somehow. They make another trade.
Yeah, they're making a lot of moves that, I mean, listen, I hope that the moves end up working out. I just don't see how they are.
It's just kind of upsetting for me because, like, I still very much want to watch Crosby and Malkin compete. And the way that the roster's been the last 2 years has just been so disappointing that now when, like, yeah, like a lot of fans might ask for, yeah, we want the change, but not like this.
I don't know. I don't know what you do if you're a Pittsburgh fan.
No.
Like, you have to sit and wait and you have to hope that he doesn't make a stupid signing on October 9th. Mm-hmm. You really do. Because it's gonna not end well for this team. Unfortunately. Like, it's just all these things are gonna start adding up here. Mm-hmm. And I understand, like, you want to compete until Crosby and Malkin are both done, but don't put yourself in a garbage situation.
Yeah, I think this is really gonna. I think they're gonna regret a lot of these.
We'll see what happens. Do you have anything else to say about the Penguins before we move on?
Wishing Crosby, Malkin, Letang the very best, and hope that moves like work out from what we have not seen yet. Because I don't know. I'm hopeful. You know, Jerry McCann was a good signing. You know, he slots in pretty well. It's that third line center, but other than that, and I'm getting rid of Nick Busted's contract. That was pretty effective. But other than that, like, if you're gonna get that cap space, don't go for the term on these other guys that shouldn't be part of that long-term vision.
Right. Definitely agree with what you said.